Hey guys, thanks for stopping by my channel today. I got a hold of the Too Faced at Nikkietutorials collaboration palette, The Power of Makeup, and I was interested in being able to use the shadows to create two entirely different looks. I wanted to be able to create a nice daytime look and then somehow transition that into really pretty evening looks, especially like when you travel. Like, you want your palette, you want to take one palette, but you want to not be limited to only one sort or one type of look, and I think I was able to achieve that. Couple comments just about the palette in general. I actually really enjoy the entire palette itself. I am able to use the entire palette to create my look and did not need to use any supplemental product. I think the palette is valuable because it's not just a basic palette that we all have like 10 different kinds of. Like I mentioned in a haul, I think, or a favorites, the Balms Meet Matrimony palette, and that was just a very simple basic palette. Create a lot of nice looks, but all just kind of very calm and neutral looks. This palette, I think you can create a variety of different kinds of looks, and I think that a palette like that then has a lot of value. Like this green shade, this purple shade, they're just amazing. There is sometimes a bit of fallout, especially the glittery portions, just a little bit, nothing major, but just be aware of that so that you know to dust them away. There is a bit of powder pickup as well, and so you'll see in the tutorial that I rely on MAC Fix Plus as an aid in order to get the powders to stay in place. But I believe that if you do that and if you prime your eyelids as well, you will keep the shadows in place. It is $56, so it's pricey, but at the same time, you do get, like I said, you do get the 9 shadows, but you also get the 2 blushes, a very popular Chocolate Soleil bronzer, as well as a highlighter. So you can and you are able to do your entire face using this palette, and I found that all of the colors actually worked really well. The palette might be geared a little bit towards fairer skin people because Nikki herself is, but even with my warm olive skin tone, a little bit on the light side, I was able to make it work. Overall, I think the shadows can do well for most, if not all, skin tones. This pink blush is quite a bit more pigmented than the peach blush. I do love them both, but if you've got a darker skin tone, you then might favor the pink one more than the peach. Okay, so if you're interested in seeing my daytime look using this palette and then how I transition it into an evening go out sort of look, then just keep watching. In the interest of saving some time, and since this is this palette tutorial, let me just run through real quick what I have already done off camera. I've already primed my face with the Nivea for Men After Shave Balm all over, and then I used by Becca the Evermatte Poreless Priming Perfector for the forehead and kind of cheek area where I tend to get pretty shiny very, very quickly. I used the Urban Decay All Nighter Foundation. I did a review on this. Definitely check it out. I love this foundation. I primed my eyes with the MAC Paint Pot in, I used Soft Ochre. I concealed under my eyes with the Tarte Shape Tape Contour Concealer, which I love. I kind of feel like it's replacing my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, but I'm still kind of trying it out. We'll see what happens. On my brows, I used a new product to me by Maybelline. It's the Brow Precise Fiber Volumizer. And then I also filled in my brows, as always, with the Anastasia Brow Wiz. I set my entire face, both my under eye concealer, my eyelids, as well as, like I said, my entire face with the Wonder product, the RCMA No Color Powder. And then finally, I threw on some lipstick by Milani. It's the Nude Cream, oldie but goodie, because my lips had been completely whited out by the foundation. Okay, that's what I've done so far. Let's jump into the palette. I'm gonna start with the dead center shade called Painkiller, and I've got a pretty large, but not too big, soft, fluffy blending brush, and I'm gonna apply this into my crease as my transition shade. Apparently I can't talk and do two things at the same time. My transition crease shade. In addition to putting it in my crease, I am going to just kind of ever so slightly tap it on the edge as well, just to kind of bring the shade around so that it just blends really nicely. I'm gonna take a slightly smaller blending brush and I'm gonna take the bronzer, Chocolate Soleil bronzer, and I'm gonna actually use that to deepen up that crease and that transition shade just a little bit, focusing on the outer corner, outer third to outer half of my eye. So even though I'm starting with my daytime appropriate look, I do want to kind of add a little bit of dimension still. I'm going to take this dark brown shade called Makeup and Chill. How cute is that? And I'm gonna focus this on the outer third of my eye using a very small but still fluffy blending kind of outer corner shadow brush. I'm gonna take that same crease brush that I used for the transition shade. I'm just gonna kind of blend them all in and make sure they're all getting along together. I'm gonna take this shade Ivy, and it's pretty white. Now Nikki herself is pretty pale, and I can see why she wanted to create a shade like this. So I'm a little bit yellower, I'm a little bit warmer. So I'm gonna take a MAC 242 shader brush, and I'm gonna take that Ivy so gently, tapping, getting whatever excess product off, just to make sure it's not too much, and I'm going to highlight under the brow. It's really not that bad a shade. It just, if you go in too dark initially, it can be a little chalky depending on your skin tone. I'm gonna take another lid shader brush. You've got two choices here for day, just kind of depending what you like. The shade Sugar Coated at the top is a really pretty frosty kind of pink. Also the highlighter, Champagne Truffle, I think also works very nicely on the lid. A little bit warmer, a little bit less shimmery. However, the Sugar Coated is good enough for day as well. It is not too overpowering, and that's actually what I'm gonna use on my lid. Focusing on the inner portion of my lid up to where I applied that very dark outer corner brown. Going back again to that same original brush I used, I'm just gonna blend from the outwards in so that we don't dilute that outer corner rich brown shade, but we wanna make sure the line between the brown and the Sugar Coated is nice and blended. Taking a Makeup Geek pencil brush, I'm gonna take that Makeup and Chill shadow again, and I'm going to line underneath my eyes, bringing it from the outer corner and in. I'm gonna take an angled brow brush, typically, and I'm going to use it as liner. I'm gonna use that black shade Wanted, and I'm going to dab it on the upper portion of my eye along my lash line, just to give it a little bit of pow. So that completes my eye look for daytime. I'm going to take by Morphe, this is the M501 brush, and I'm going to just kind of dust away any loose fallout shadow powder that might have transferred down to places it doesn't belong. And now I'm gonna go to my face. So I'm gonna take just a soft, fluffy brush. I'm gonna take that bronzer, Chocolate Soleil, dab and dab again, and I'm going to just so lightly bronze basically just my cheekbones. Nothing major, no contour. And bring it around to the rest of my face. Right now I'm feeling the Peacher blush, I Will Always Love You. Aww, I actually really like this blush. It just blends so nicely. And now I'm gonna take my Anastasia A23 highlighter brush, and I'm gonna highlight with Champagne Truffle. This highlighter is a little bit cool, and I can see why, because that's what Nikki's skin tone is. So of course she'd wanna create something that she can use. So I just use it very subtly. So with the exception of mascara, which I will do at the very end, that completes what I feel is a really good, just kind of daytime look featuring the power of makeup. So now I want to transition this. Let's say I went to work, or let's say I was on vacation and I went out during the day and now I want to go out at night. Rather than redo my entire face, because really who has the time for that, I want to take this look and kick it up a notch into a nighttime look. Now you have a couple of choices depending on your skin tone and your eye tone color, and I'll just lay it out real quick. The two shades on the bottom, the Mystic Hour or the Wham Bam, are going to be gorgeous, and you can choose between those two. And then when I step it up a little bit, you could decide between Irresistible and Frosted Yum. One is silver, one is gold, just depending on what your preference or what your skin tone is. So I am going to take the green shade, because I love it, and I have green eyes, Mystic Hour, and I'm going to take a very small, kind of concentrated outer corner brush. This is actually the small crease brush by Makeup Geek, but it works really nicely on the outer corner. So I'm gonna actually just go over that dark brown Makeup and Chill that I had previously used on my outer corner. I'm just gonna go over it now with that Mystic Hour. Now I mentioned before that these shadows have a little bit bit of pickup, a little bit of fallout, and this green is major. And so I'm going to first spray my brush with MAC Fix Plus because I really want that green, what is it, Mystic Hour? I really want it to stay in place and not fall out too badly because I've already got makeup on the rest of my face. So I'm gonna go for a warmer look today, and I am going to use Irresistible, that gold shade. Now you can choose to Fix Plus your brush or not, but again, I'm looking for the color payoff and I want it to kind of stay put, so I am going to spray my lid brush again with the MAC Fix Plus so that I can apply that gorgeous gold shade and have that guy stay. And again, I'm going right over what I did, quote, earlier in the day, which actually was like not 10 minutes ago. I am very specifically going over my lid from the inner corner towards the outer corner, but I am overlapping over the green shade because I want them to blend and kind of almost just transition and almost give like an ombre effect as it is going from inner to outer corner, because the gold shade winds up diluting the green shade just a little bit, and I want to keep that to where the two colors meet. I'm going to take my same transition shade brush from the very beginning of the video, and I'm going to just ever so slightly blend again outer to inner, just to make sure that there are no harsh lines between my lid and my crease. And if you need to, which I'm gonna do right now, I am gonna pick up a little bit of Painkiller again, which was that center color that we used in the crease, and I'm gonna pick up just a little bit of color just to, again, bring the look together between the lid. I'm gonna go back to Sugar Coated, and I wanna add a little bit of highlight now to underneath my brow, which I hadn't done for day, but I feel is a little mandatory for night. So now, just to intensify the face just a little bit, I didn't contour earlier in the day. I am gonna take that same Chocolate Soleil bronzer. I'm gonna take a small, this is the Makeup Geek rounded blush brush, but I love using it for contour. I'm gonna apply just a little bit of extra color under my cheekbone near where I applied the bronzer before, but just to add a little bit of extra dimension using actually the same bronzer. I'm gonna take my same bronzer brush and just make sure that all blends in pretty nicely. As for eyeliner, my final step will be to actually redo now the Black Wanted, which is on the upper. We blended that bad boy away when we put in the dark green Mystic. And I'm going to add to my lower liner with that Mystic on just the outer corner. We've already got some of that Makeup and Chill brown underneath, but I want to bring that green down just a little bit to the outer corner. I'm gonna go finish off my eyes now with some mascara. I'm going to lengthen with the L'Oreal Telescopic. I'm going to voluminize with the L'Oreal Voluminous Feline, and then I'm going to do my lower lash line with the MAC Extended Play Giga Black Lash. So that completes my transitional day look into evening look using the Nikkietutorials Too Faced collaboration, The Power of Makeup. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're not already one of my subscribers, I welcome you and invite you to do so. Don't forget, I am on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. So if you have a minute, check me out over there. Hope you have a lot of fun using this palette. It's an incredibly amazing palette, and I have enjoyed creating a number of looks with it. Definitely let me know if you come up with some really fun, gorgeous, and outstanding looks using this palette. Let me know, tag me, tweet me, whatever, just let me know. Thanks again for spending this time with me. I hope you have a really good rest of the day. I look forward to seeing you soon. In the meantime, thanks.
So a couple quick disclaimers. I am going to this birthday dinner, and I have not yet done my hair, and I have not done This is actually the small crease spot brush. My stomach just made the most tremendous noise. I hope it did not pick up.